G'day team, here Scott from termiteboss.com.au. Want to talk you through a Trelona install on a house. In fact, we'll do a couple of different videos at different houses because each house has different considerations, even though you might say, well, my house is a reasonably new 4-bedroom home, say, on a slab, or it's a high-set home, or it's an older home with timber stumps, etc. Each of those homes has slightly different considerations, and so we'll talk you through that this morning on this particular job, and it will help you get your head around how to install these things professionally and get the most out of your system. So this particular perimeter, dropping gear, you can see we've got quite a deal of concrete here. We've got a garden on this particular side of the house. We've got some, makeshift hard stand there with crusher dust, etc. This side of the house, we've got quite a deal of concrete, and the concrete goes all the way to the back. And then at the back, we have a timber deck that's been extended on from the patio. So there's a few considerations there. So let's go. I'll talk you through some of the things. So for doing your concrete areas, you're going to need a concrete core drill. You need an 80mm core cutter. If you don't have one of these, or you can't borrow one of these, go to something like Flexi Hire or Coates or one of your local hire companies. Support one of the smaller guys if you've got a smaller guy there. I don't know, they're probably $200 a day or so, but generally they'll hire out the drills and the bits. I know that Flexi Hire has Hilties, and I think they're $250 a day, and you're only going to use them once. They're fairly pricey, so you're probably going to drop $1,000 on one of those rigs and if you're not going to use it regularly, then but anyway, that's up to you to work out what you want to do there. So you need one of those, so 80mm, and then we've marked out starting at what you do is start at the corner of the house preferably. Now remember, the Trelona system's really flexible, so we're going to start here at the corner. Now what we want to do is install on the drip line, and the drip line is basically the gutter line of the house. Now if something's in the way, like say you've got some plumbing or electrical or whatever else, and you need to either step out from the wall or step into the wall a bit where the Trelonas go, it's not going to matter. So we've put our first marker down here at the corner, and that is one of the non-slip caps that will go on top of the concrete station. So once you core drill in here, there's the top of your non-slip cap. So that's going to go on top, and we're going to install one of these Trelona in concrete baskets. So that's going to go down into the ground, and then obviously you're going to put your bait cartridges, 2 bait cartridges inside that, and in that goes lid on top, and it goes. Thank you if anyone's old enough to remember those old Cadbury egg ads on TV. There you go. So that's going to be the in-ground station. Obviously, if we're putting things into dirt, we're going with these, and generally if you have any concrete at all, you'll have a combination of in soil and in concrete units that you're going to need. So you'll have to work that out. Okay, starting at the corner. So let's go this way, because there's a couple of considerations here that we tossed over before we came up with our exact line. Corner, you can see the next one's there, and then we're heading towards a garden on this side. So 1, 2, 3 meters, 1, 2, 3 meters. So the next one's here, and then 1, 2, 3 meters. I'm going to put the next one in the garden. Reason is it's going to save some drilling through concrete, and look, it's on the 3 meter line anyway. Tiny bit outside the drip line on the corner, not going to matter. Now you can see we go down into a complex area from just considering a Trelona system point of view. My thoughts here are either the next one's going to be from this one in the garden. We've got 1, 2 meters to here. We want them theoretically every 3. Now, it's not going to matter if you do 2 meters. That's perfectly fine. So we could go one here, But obviously we're heading this way around the building, and we've got our next corner that we want to turn on, go down the side then, just here. So we've elected to go out a fraction here. So we've got basically from this one marked here, 1, 2 meters to here. So we're going to put it about here in front of this pier. But then if you look back this way, we'll just quickly step it out. We're 1, 2, 3 meters from the wall, and we're 3 meters if we go from there to here. We sort of have a 3 meter radius around here still where the wall is. So that's still going to give us intercept protection. Wouldn't matter if we went there, and then our next one would have to be a little bit short as well, and then one on the corner. So when you're working out, start at the corners of your house and then go 3 meters up the sides, and then you might find you're just wriggling one back into 2.5 meters or 2 of them back into 2.5 meters just to make them even. Okay, so we've settled on that. We're quite happy with that. We've got sufficient coverage around that area, but both answers would be the correct answer in that particular case, so you can't get that wrong. Obviously, we're going to flick a string line through here, make sure our core holes are nice and tidy up this side. So considerations up this side now are the drain in the middle, and this is, if you say a home done slab, meaning the owners poured this slab, it is probably a bit thinner than 100 mil, doesn't really matter. We're still going to core drill it. We do want to consider though, if our cores, for example, coming back here, if we wanted to drill a core and our 3 meters was right here near the join in the concrete, and I start core drilling right next to a join, that's just all going to crack out. So you're going to want to shift that either a little bit in or a little bit out to stay away from the edge so that you don't crack that out. Same thing down here, just consider if you need to wriggle in a bit to give you plenty of meat in the concrete to drill into. So you can see up here, we've just got these placed. We're just in the process of running a string line, and we're obviously just using a rope. So whether you flick a chalk line or use a rope, doesn't really matter. Any straight line's good. Here we had to wriggle a bit because we've got some plumbing and it's running this way. So we actually wanted the mark to be here. And if we'd gone down here, we probably would have topped out on the storm drain underneath. So we've elected just to wriggle it a fraction that way. All right, let's keep going, because around the back, it's not that it's tricky, but it's just not totally standard. Here's the corner of a house again, so we're ready to turn. Here we've elected to go out a little bit further. So we're still 3 meters from here, but we're not lining it up smack with the corner. And the reason is we've got a deck here, and there's no way that we can get the stations underneath the decking. So we are going around the decking. If you can get your stations in under the decking, so if there was enough room to crawl under there, for example, you could run your stations straight down along the house wall, but we can't do that here. So we've wriggled out a little bit because we're sort of heading this way now. We're going to do another station here, then our next 3 meter station as we start to go around the decking is our 1, 2, 3. Now 3 lines lies right next to this drain pipe. Now again, the system's flexible enough for us to wriggle a little way. Now we prefer, you could put it there'll be nothing wrong with it. I prefer to put it in the lawn, because these things are subject to change over time and whatever else. So in the lawn, and it's still going to be 3 meters from the last one. It's just on a slight angle that way. It's just not on a straight angle this way. So it's not really critical whether we're running right angles or we run a diagonal here. We're still maintaining roughly our 3 metre spacing. Now again, we're just into the soil stations now, which are these particular stations, and we've marked out just with these at the moment. You can use spray marker, it doesn't really matter. Use a rock, get your kids to sit there, pay them $5 to sit on the mark, whatever you want to do. And we're going right around the house, and then eventually we'll join back up with the front. So here we can't do the drip line because we have just pergola, if you like, but we're going to be protecting a lot of these structures here and a lot of the complex joins here. Termites can theoretically get up all these joins, so we're going to intercept the termites out here. Whether you're 30 centimetres off the concrete, whether you're 60 centimetres off the concrete, isn't really going to matter. We've elected to go about 300-400 off there. We'll string line it and get that in place, and that'll work out fine. So that's how you work around some add-ons at your property, things like extra decks and extra concreting around your property. If you had around your property only path, then you just go just on the outside of the path. All right, thanks. Check the other videos out for different construction considerations if this one didn't answer 100% of your questions. And then you're also welcome to take photos of your property and send it to us, and we can give you some quick advice on what we would probably do at your place. Thanks, bye.